31st of January, last day of the month. Ho. Awesome.
Life is grand, life is great, life is good, life is beautiful. You gotta give it all you got, everything you got to give. Time to shine, time to live. Life is grand, life is great, life is good, life is beautiful. Now you're living out your dream with your hopes up high. Your only limit is the sky.
Hey, hey, hey! Hey, everybody. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. My name is Wayne McDonell. I'm the Chief FX Market Strategist for TradersWay.com. How you doing? Hey, I do these sessions 7:30 in the morning every single day, Monday through Thursday, here at Forex.Today. Where? Forex.Today. I'm sorry, I can't quite hear you. Forex.Today. Oh, Forex.Today. I'm here every single day, Monday through Thursday. It's same, only different. Every single day, Monday through Thursday, which I laugh because it's not every single day. How about Monday through Thursday, 7:30 in the morning. Every Friday, I'm at FX Street, where I'm Forex Speaker of the Year and nominated for Forex Speaker of the Year again. So thank you very much. Many of you have voted for me for a second year in a row, and honestly, I really appreciate that, and I thank you. I like the recognition. I don't know. I work hard, and it's cool. Cool. Has everyone voted? Has anyone not voted? Would anybody like the link? How about that? Where's the desktop share? Oh, it didn't. All right, I have to redo the sharing. Thank you, Charlie. Yeah, look at this Firefox, just awesome. That's cool. Well, thank you guys. Oh, we need to set a record. Well, we need to make some pips. That's what we need to make, right? All right. So let's get let's get organized here. This is day 2 in the swing trade plan. Just kind of get these all on the same time frame. I'm picking an hour for some reason. Just sort of arbitrary. Okay. So let's find the theme here. Did anyone not grow up on Sesame Street? We have a lot of people from around the world. So if you're not American or Canadian, you may not be familiar with things like Sesame Street or Romper Room. Yeah, you had it in Australia? Crikey! Worldwide thing, yeah. Well, you know, there's a different one in Canada. Canada has a different, it's same Sesame Street. It's still in New York for some reason. But we have different little the cartoons and little characters and stuff. Yeah. So 3 of these things belong together. 3 of these things are one and the same. But one of these things don't belong here. Now it's time to play our game. It's time to play our game. Well, Martin had a very nice. Oh, you did the Turkish lira. Yeah, you did it. All right. Look, it's funny. I always tell you, hey, send me cigars, and then I never actually. Let me actually look it up. JR cigars. Then you gotta click on gifts. Then you gotta go virtual card. Yeah, this is it. This is where you go. Strike while they're hot, right? Strike where they're hot. If you made money on lira, this is where you spend your lira. Yeah, you buy a virtual card. Just put my name and my email address, and we're done. All right. All right. So going back, this is the game here. Do you remember the game? In Sesame Street, you looked at four things. Three of them would be the same or similar, and one would be quite different. And this is what I actually do when I'm looking for correlation. If one of them is different, then I need to be very careful of how I tiptoe into the yens, right? However, if they're all the same, then I'm hot to go HOTTOGO. And that means, if I'm doing yens, this isn't a yen pair, but let's pretend it was. If they're all down, awesome. If they're all up, awesome. Because I can't control the direction. It's not up to me. It's up to things like the central bank and the governments, right? Fiscal and monetary policy. It ain't me who decides up or down. But if they're all down, I'm a buyer of yen. If they're all up, I'm a seller of yen. And that's half of my entire career. What do you do, Wayne? I buy yen, I sell yen. I buy dollar, I sell dollar. What else do you do? Right? What else do you do? Not a lot, actually. Yeah. Anthony? Anthony, where do we? Oh, what? Oh, the cigar. Sorry. The cigar thing? Just an email address like Wayne at fxbootcamp.com or, yeah, that'd be enough. All they do is they send a code to me. You can probably send it to cigars at fxbootcamp.com. Yeah, and then I can go on and buy and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. All right. So, anyways, it's a big deal. Is all I'm saying as far as direction. Okay. So let's review weekly swings. Okay. Oops. Okay. You can see here, if you were trying a bearish swing last week, that was the M3. Our target was the M1. Move it over to this week. There's the M3. We talked about this yesterday. Our target is here, right? And I think if it wasn't this one, it was something similar. And to me, often I even after a while, if I'm buying yen, for example, I don't really care what's on the other side. What is this? It's euro, Turkish lira. But so if I've already decided, I don't even care what it is anymore, right? A pattern would be very typical, something like this, or if it's more aggressive. Come on, dude, let me. Then it would kick off like that pivot, right? So in my mind, things don't fall straight. Okay, they don't fall straight down. You don't go M3 to M1. It's got to go down, then up, and then down. Right? There's no straight path, right? How water finds the path of least resistance? Money doesn't do that. Money doesn't do that. In fact, once you have some serious money, everything gets complicated. You ever notice that? Everything gets complicated. Everything. When it's big money, big money, big money. Everything's complicated. The bigger the money, right? More money, more problems. Got to get that dirt off your shoulder, right? So just imagine it's not a straight shot, even though everyone knows it's going down. So down to the what? Support pivot, up and then back down. Oh, Picard disagreed. I'm wide open, ears wide open, Richard. So everything is okay. In Forex or in business, in family, because it seems to me even little things like all of a sudden you make, let's say, 10 times more money than all your friends. Even little things like that, all of a sudden relationships with your friends get complicated and in not necessarily good ways. It's weird. They're like, oh, these people, they're so arrogant. All the stuff they do. Yeah. Well, yeah. So, anyways, I guess this isn't a good forum for it, but like, I love conversations like this. So, like, Richard, if we were in a bar, it'd be great to just have a couple of drinks and talk about it. But I find, like, for example, I am doing some things on the side that are huge money, right? Huge, like ridiculous stuff, right? And everyone is afraid of someone else lying and ripping them off. And it's really strange where everyone is incentivized to work with each other like they are on little levels. Like think of it as game theory, which I'm studying. In game theory, everyone does better if they just cooperate. And think of it like a business relationship. If we do this business deal together, we both make money. It's symbiotic. So let's continue to do similar business together, and we'll just keep making more money. That's a good thing, right? But but your business partner can screw you over, and it's best to do it in the first deal, not the 10th deal. And so your business partner will screw you. You get nothing, and they get everything, and then they disappear, right? So imagine now you don't have an ongoing relationship. So you're buying something that is incredibly expensive, and you'll never see the seller again. They're incentivized to screw you over, right? And so when the money is so big, like a little mistake, right? A little mistake is a big deal, like a big deal. All of a sudden, nobody trusts each other, and everything gets complicated. And it's a little thing like, let's do a deal together. Whoa, 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 whoa. 19 people on each side have to get involved, and everyone's got their opinion, and everybody thinks you're a rip-off artist, and you think they're a rip-off artist, and it's complicated. Well, at some point, like Richard says, is most people don't make much money. Yeah, which is true. Uh, but imagine the risk is so big. This is why leverage is a bad thing, right? Imagine you had to put your net worth, every single penny you have, and then on top of that, borrow money so you owe powerful people money. And you're only going to make one trade in Forex, and your stop is close, right? All of a sudden, you're like, look, it's Euro Turkish lira. What's the big deal? It's going to head down, right? But if it goes above the weekly pivot point, you're absolutely dead broke, and you owe powerful, mean people lots of money. If it goes up to here, all of a sudden you're like, whoa, whoa, hey now, right? So everything is complicated, but it shouldn't be. So what we need to do is deleverage and reduce all of that unnecessary stress, right? So, anyways, whatever. Um, a simple pattern here. Simple pattern. This is the Monday morning. Sell at M3. Our target here is M1. This is something you've been taught 100 bajillion times, right? You could have done it Sunday. We talked about it Monday. Here it is Tuesday, and there still may be hope. If this fails, what happens? If the move down to M1 fails, what happens? What is the likely worst case scenario for a bear? How funny. Richard says share wealth. What, to fix the problem with friends and stuff? You know what? In my experience, that doesn't work. Often it makes things worse. Break even? No. Well, okay. The worst case scenario is it does this: S1 to R1. If you're a bear, that's the worst case scenario. Not WPP. Support pivot to resistance pivot. And that would be the top of this week. And maybe you sold in here. Okay. So what do you do? Is your stop just kind of here? And you're like, oh, as long as we're below the M3, I'm cool. Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Okay. But right now, as of Sunday, because remember this, I said yesterday, like in when it opens like this, the one thing you absolutely know for sure is you cannot buy it. You just cannot. And if it goes higher, you still can't buy it, right? So you can't do anything on an open like this except don't do anything, which is the same as right not buying. You can not sell, you can not buy, that's fine. Or you can sell it because you know it's this plan, right? All right, so that's euro. I have no problem selling euro. I don't know if I want to corner the market on Turkish lira, but it is what it is. It's a pattern. Okay. Pound yen, right? Let's change this template. Okay. Pound yen, M3. Can you buy it? No. Can you sell it? Yes. What is the target? Green zone. Okay. Down to the S pivot. Remember what I did on euro Turkish lira? Up to the pivot or up to the 21. It ends up being the same thing. Okay. And then down to the pivot. Okay. Coolio, right? Drop, Asia fade, drop. USD yen. Change the template. Okay. So if you remember last week, we had a sell here, and we have a bottom here. Okay. That's our trade plan from last week. Zoom in, drop, retrace, drop, retrace, drop. Little different than the other two, right? Drop where? To the pivot point. Pull back to the 21, right? Down, right? Back to the 21. On our way down to the green zone. Or, more conservatively, 113. But this is actually telling us more like closer to 112, right? Cool. Once again, just a swing trade. The same swing trade I teach week after week after week. Isn't it incredible? I've been doing this more than 10 years, more than a decade. Amazing, right? Amazing. Aussie yen. Okay, opens up near M3. Can you buy it? No. Down, up to the 21. Down, where? Support pivot. Asia fade. And a bear is going to want to bring this down to Chinatown. Okay. What about the bulls? What if you were a bull on this? Absolutely fine to be a bull. You can find good reasons to be a bull. You can find good arguments to be a bull. Okay. You would have bought it here and failed, and you would have bought it here and failed. Okay. Or the double bottom play, or the triple bottom play. Okay, because a bear now is going to have a bottom and a top, and you might even look for a breakout scenario, right? Perfect. If you're a bull, perfect. If you're a bull, absolutely awesome. Buying it in here, if you're a bull, smart move, dude. Excellent. You failed. You didn't make any money. You might have even lost money. It's the right thing to do if you're a bull. Okay. Being down here, however, changes things a lot, increases your risk. If you were a bull, it was supposed to bounce here. Okay. So if you're a bull and you're buying a triple bottom, what is your projected top. What's your profit target? R1. Using pivot point theory, a bottom at S1 produces a target of R1. So this is the range here. Projected top, projected bottom, if you're a bull. Okay? So basically you're buying it at 86. Your target is 87.50. Yes, Skip. Skip says Bank of Japan buying commercial paper in addition to, yeah, to Gubs. Yeah. But actually, Skip, they've been doing that for a couple of years now, and they own something like, I forget the number. I'll just throw a number out there. I may be way off. But they own something like 20% of the Nikkei. They own 20% of the entire stock market in Japan. But it might even be higher than 20%. Like, what? Government owned. Shocking, isn't it? Okay. Okay. CAD yen. Zoom in. Market opened at M3. Can you buy it? You buy it here? No. Can you buy it here? Yes. But you may not have gotten the entry. You might have been waiting here. You might have been, oops, come on, circle. You might have been waiting here. You might have dropped into a smaller time frame like a 15 or a 5 and you were waiting for the setup and you may not have gotten it. But if you're just trading with working orders, you could say, all right, on Sunday when it opens, you're like, well, I'm a bull on this. So I'm going to put a working order for a half a lot here. And I'm going to put another order for a half a lot here. Okay. Which gives you flexibility, right, with your stops and the amount of money you're risking and stuff. And then you go away. Literally, that could have been what you did this week. What did you do this week? Well, I worked about 1 minute. I looked at CAD yen. I was bullish for whatever reason. And so I spent 30 seconds trying to figure out where the weekly central pivot is, which is, by the way, more than enough time. And then I put another one at the end, 32. So I'll make money if it does this. Okay. Or I'll make money if it does this. I'll just make more money. But if it does this, I lose money. And you're done for the week. Yeah, so you're risking 100 pips, let's say, total, which means this can have like 70 pips, this could have 30 pips or whatever. Okay. Right? Or 50 and 50, because then you have a stop here and a stop here, whatever, right? You're risking your 100 pips. So let's say it comes down, gets you in both, and each one has a 150 pip limit, right? Or really, you're going up in here, right? So you're going for a 90. Yeah, so you're going for at least 300 pips, let's say. So now you're risking 100 total. Your upside is going to be 300 pips per trade. So you risk 100 total. You get up here, and both of them hit 300, so you get a total of 600. Right? One trade risking, let's say, 70, the other one risking 30 for a total of 100, and yet you got paid off because you got in both. you got a total of 600 and risk. So you got a 6-to-1 risk reward ratio. Okay. If you were a bull. Sweet, right? And did you get it? Well, you got one. Is it going to make money or lose money? Well, you're a bull, so you still think it's going to go up. You still feel quite good because it got into your buy zone and stopped, right? So a bull might actually feel good, right? Are you sweating bullets if you're like, well, I'm a bull, so you've analyzed it, and you're like, yeah, I want to be a bull here, and I would still buy it here, and if it goes lower than that, not only am I going to stop buying, but I'll probably get out. Okay? That's what you say Sunday. How easy is that? Like, oh, Wayne, it doesn't take 1 minute to do that. I have to boot up my computer. I'm out in the backyard. I'm partying. I'm barbecuing. I'm drinking beer. I'm playing frisbee with the kids. I don't have that kind of time. Do you know how long it takes to boot up a Windows machine? I got a slow laptop. We're talking now 4 minutes. I just don't have that kind of energy, dude. I just want to get rich, but come on, 4 minutes on a weekend? On a Sunday? Yeah, plus those updates. Yeah. I have to update the thing like every other week. It's like ridiculous amount of time. It's just not worth it, my friend. My son says, "Is that sarcasm?" He was working on his homework, and I come up behind him, and he's like, totally, he's hunched over, and he's writing, and he's doing his stuff. I said, "Man, it looks like you're into it. You look great. You look like you're." He said, "Is that sarcasm?" I'm like, "No, actually, no. It looks like you're really into it. It looks like you're totally focused on getting stuff done. Good job." Right? Is that sarcasm, Dad? I'm Canadian, so I'm bitter about everything. So even when it's a compliment, my wife is like, "No, I mean that." All right, flip side here. You cannot buy here. You might buy it here, and you might buy it here, but what if for some reason you don't want it to rise? Or you just want to put a trade on and your stop is here. You're like, yeah, I'll risk 25 pips. What do I care, right? And you look at this, well, it closed outside there, so the minimum target's here, so you could scalp it down. But if you're a bear, right? A bear's bear, right? Sort of like Trump's general's general. Um, you're a bear's bear, right? Bears look at you and say, I want to be a bear like that someday. Then your target is, down, up, down. Trade of the week, right? Okay. You can see that you could be a bull or a bear here. It's all very middle range to me. Okay. I don't care what you are as long as you have a plan, right? So I think if you sold this or if you're buying this, you did it correctly. I don't care which one. As long as you did one of those things, you did it correctly. If you didn't do one of those things, I have big question marks. Okay. And then, of course, this is also a very valid plan, right? Right. A bull down here would have to be careful sort of in this area. Oh, show. Okay. This second one would be the next follow on if you got it. Okay. Yeah, Nick sold it on Friday, and it's a very valid thing that we talk about on Fridays. Were you at the FX Street event, Nick? Yeah, right. And so that was one of the things. Like, it's not the greatest in the world, but if you're outside of here, you drop it into the weekly pivot, right? Like this one. You see this one way up here? Oh, come on. Let me read. Let me draw it better. Okay, you see this one? You see, this is Friday. The pivot profit zone is way low, right? You see, it's here. Same scenario. You sell it Friday, and you're supposed to hit at least the new central early in the new week. Okay. And of course, as you can see, it can reverse the entire trend. Why? Because every bull on the planet took profit. Nick made 56 cents. Sweet. Morning, Deej. Oh, be careful. Can you go back to the context in which I said that? Artem, and I'd happy to be more specific, but I've already forgotten. He says, "What does it mean to be more to be careful in that area? Can you please explain?" I'm happy to explain it, but can you put it back in the context? You said that bulls need to be careful at 87.77. I don't even remember saying that. 87.77, a bull. Um, oh, you mean this? All right. The reason for it is you're set on being a bull. Your mindset is bullish. You're drinking your own Kool-Aid. Everything you see looks bullish to you because you want it to be bullish, and you've made that decision, right? What do humans tend to do? When you're making money, it's because you're a genius. And when you're losing money, it's because you got unlucky. So as long as this is going up, you're like, genius, genius, genius. Right? Confirmation bias, right? Or what I often say is like what Friedrich Nietzsche wrote. Perception creates reality. So anyway, so you get a little micro breakout and you want to buy it again, second chance. Okay? But even though you are probably outside of resistance, you may not be. So there's still chance that it does this back down to support. And you don't want to make money on wave A to B, let's say, and then lose it back going from C to D. C to D being from here to here. Okay. And the distance between B and C is just taking a break. Okay. So you don't want to just keep buying here and keep buying here, and you're like, I'm so bullish, and you give it all back. So you got to be careful in the sense that it comes down, and if it skips off the outside of the atmosphere, using my old NASA analogy, right? Here's the Earth. The astronauts' spaceship comes in too shallow, it just skips off the atmosphere, and you're back out in outer space. You come in too steep, and it goes, you crash. So you got to come in just right. Okay. So you want to skip off the resistance here. Skip off the atmosphere. My voice, did I push the mic a little too far away? Perception creates reality. So, what Nietzsche was saying, I believe, um, is that, uh, well, how about this? How about a different example? If one game that I play with my children when we drive around is counting the number of yellow pickup trucks. Not moving trucks, not Jeeps, not vans, right? Not big, 5-ton dump trucks, just pickup trucks, yellow pickup trucks, not SUVs, right? Yellow pickup trucks. And so as we're driving along, all of a sudden you say, yellow truck, and you get a point for that, right? You'd be surprised how many yellow trucks you see when you're looking for yellow trucks in with your subconsciousness. So, for example, if you think everybody's a criminal because you live in a bad neighborhood and everyone seems to be stealing from you and stealing from other people, you could literally go through life knowing in your brain, just knowing from your personal experience, everybody's a thief. And you will see evidence of it, self-reinforcing evidence as you go through life. See, that guy's a thief. Everybody's a thief. See? See? See, it's bullish. See? And you end up only perceiving the self-reinforcement, right? And it actually feels good believing you're right. It feels way better. Can you imagine going through life? And some people do this when you go through trading. You get to a point where everything you see, is wrong. Like, as soon as you buy it, it's going to fall. You just know it. And then you buy it and it falls, and you're like, see, I told you. But it's not necessarily true, right? But you can live through life, and in particular, what humans tend to do is the older they get and the more life experience they get, they say, I like these things, I don't like those things, and then all of a sudden you create yourself a reality, a bubble in which you live in that reinforces itself, where you're like, I don't like spicy food, right? So you never eat spicy food, and you live in this bubble of a world that doesn't have spicy food. Right? And you think because spicy food gives you upset stomach or something, but it's not necessarily true, you know. And um, but by the time you ever notice like some people when they hit like retirement age, they're like 60 or whatever, 65, 70, and they don't change. They wear the same clothes, they eat at the same restaurants, they do the same thing at holidays as they always do. And what happens is you scale everything out through life experience. I don't like this, I don't like that, that didn't work out for me. I don't like those type of people, I don't drive those type of cars, I don't go to those kind of restaurants, and you just live in this little cocoon, this little world, which would be different than my world and different from everyone else's world in this room, but to you it's reality. No, it's not boring. It just is. And you're like, I got life figured out. I got the world figured out. But your world is different from my world and different from everyone else's world, right? Now, what I consciously do, literally, consciously make an effort, because it's never easy. I make efforts to make myself uncomfortable all the time, right? I do it all the time. My wife laughs at me. I get myself into a 4-year degree program at Harvard. And then I sign up for the hardest classes. And then I get myself into an elite program, which is just 10 times harder. And all of a sudden I'm like, I'm like, oh my God, my class is so hard. It takes so much work. It takes so much time. She's like, well, you signed up for the hardest classes. Yeah, well, I know. But, and then I eat food I've never eaten before. I like going to countries I've never been. I like hanging out with people that are different. But anyways, perception creates reality, right? And so what I try to do all the time is look at our trading from 2 points of view. And I don't know if you've noticed that, right? I try to look at all my trade setups bullishly and bearishly. I like to look at it from a market point of view. What is the market going to do? Well, a bear would sell it here, and a bull would be stupid to buy it there. So at the bare minimum, it needs to come down because the bulls are taking profit. This is what they're supposed to do, right? Buy it at the green, sell it at the red. Guess what? They sold it at the red. Wasn't that what they're supposed to do? I mean, come on. Isn't that what they're supposed to do? Yeah. Well, good. Well, all right. So all the bulls are going to get out. The bears are going to look at this on Sunday and they're going to go, oh, look at that. And they're going to drop it. Minimum to this weekly central. But this could continue down, but it could continue up. Where would a bull buy it? Well, they would buy it here and here. That's what I would do if I were me. And I would sell it here. Okay. And if it fails, right? Great. Is this going to be a problem area? Yeah, of course it's going to be a problem area. A bull's going to buy it here too. But if it fails, we're going down here, right? I mean, it's so easy. There are places where bulls will buy. They will buy it. You know how many market participants there are? Thousands isn't enough, but let's just say thousands, of which there are some are bulls and some are bears. There will be some bulls here. There will be some. Enough? Well, I don't know about that, but right? Well, there will be some bulls here. There will be. I guarantee it. Is there enough to reverse the market and head up? Maybe, especially if these guys get back in the game. So where else would you buy it? I wouldn't buy it anywhere else. I mean, all right, maybe here, but you know what? I'd probably let that one go. Okay, I would like it to do this first before I consider, and then that would be the new target. This is the conservative one, right? But I probably would let that one go and wait until I have enough evidence. But I can tell you if I was a bull, that would be it, and that would be it, and there is nothing else. That's it. And so what I think will happen, will be little moves like this. You will get a down, an up, a down, and if it does this, uh-oh, because you know that's what a bull would do, right? You just know it. So you can predict the future. That is almost for sure going to happen. And then reverse the other way around, right? Okay. A question here about MACD. All right, so this MACD, okay, is telling me what? Well, the first thing that you can tell is the 21 is below the 55. It happened right there. Okay? The 21 crossed above the 50, below the 55, right there. Okay? And this tells me the 21 just started to get closer to the 55. The separation between the two has diminished, right? They're converging just slightly, but probably not a big deal. Okay? But that's that. See, this, some people think is bearish. Not necessarily. Just means 21 is closer to the 50, or converging toward the 55. So this just tells me technically bearish and not as good as it used to be. Okay? This is why you need other indicators, like moving averages, for example. But I can see the moving averages here. That's all this is doing. So a bear would do this. Okay? And a bear is going to look at this oscillator, either falling there or rising a little bit and then falling, right? So if not now, soon. That's what all these oscillators are telling me. So for example, I don't even need I don't need this anymore per se, but then I miss out of things of like why. So this doesn't answer, for example, why. Well, pivot profit zone is more interesting. Plus we know as this was rising last week, we already knew there was a pivot profit zone in here to create the resistance in the first place. MACD is a lagging indicator. Pivot points, the pivot profit zone, is a leading indicator, not lagging. Okay, so having this roll over there is important information. Okay, but if you can see, this is just the MACD is just crossed up. All that tells me, because remember, this tells me the 21 is crossed below the 55. So you got a moving average like this, okay, and the 21 is crossed like this, okay, and then this is flattened a little bit. That's all that this tells me. Okay, so I can look at my settings and say the 21 right here, at this point here, the 21 crossed below the 55. Cool, that's what I know here. So I know there's a crossover. Okay, and this tells me this separation is slightly narrowed. So actually this is drawn incorrectly. It'd be more like this. Okay, it's hard to draw with this. Okay, see how this area here is slightly more narrow than here? So that's where the cross up. That's what the cross up tells me. Okay, so that's on 2155. So you could use this, to say this, similar to a 5/8 cross, could be an opportunity because 21 is below the 55. It's diminishing and then could expand again. Okay, so you might want to look for this to be overbought first and then roll over. Okay, that would put you in here. Or what would happen, for example, if this goes up back to the water line and then down? What does that mean for price? It means the 21 is below the 55, and for a while they narrowed and then they expanded. Oops. Okay. Which means there's an acceleration in the market down. Just because this is going up doesn't mean it's crossed up. It just means they narrowed for a while and then they expanded. They converged. No, sorry, they diverged. So they're converging and all of a sudden divergence. That means the market is accelerating to the downside. So you could do, let's say you joined Forex, the Forex trading industry, 15 or 20 years ago when I started looking at it. Well, 15 is more accurate than 20, but okay. There was something called Forex Made Easy, and you paid something like, I can't remember what it was, $5,000, and it bought you a trading platform, and then I think you'd have to put more money in, but it just bought you your charts basically, and all you got was something that looked like a MACD. And for $5,000, they said you would have this account that would do all this sophisticated analysis for you. So you should fund it with $10,000 more. The 5,000 just got you the MACD, and they're like, look how easy Forex is. You buy it here, you sell it there. You'd have to sit through a little presentation. If you stayed to the end, you'd got a bonus. Yeah, no, honestly. And then they would give you multiple. So you'd look at a MACD on multiple time frames, which was basically a MACD on a 15-minute chart, a MACD on a 1 hour chart, MACD on a 4 hour chart, MACD on a daily. And then, they had big light strategies where if the MACD on the 1 hour, right, 4 hour, and daily, if they are all pointing up, you would buy. Big lights, big money. But that took a weekend training course of $2,000 to learn the big light strategy. Canadian industrial production 0.4. Raw material. Let's see. Wow, their raw material index went way up month over month. Last month has been revised up. Smells pretty good for Canada, actually. That's probably pretty good. So if you're trading CAD yen now, oh, that is CAD yen. How convenient. Okay. Although you may like this as a bull. If you're a bear, do you sell this? We just got pretty decent Canadian news. It's probably going to do this, guys, if you're a bull. Okay, if you're a bull, that's something like that is what you're thinking. Okay? And it worked out for you because you're a genius, right? Remember, you might have spent, including the time it takes to boot your computer, 4 minutes. And you said, I'm a bull. I'm going to put a half a lot here and a half a lot here. And guess what? Your analysis of the Canadian market might have been correct, right? Canadian industrial prices, blah blah blah. Canadian whatever. Canadian GDP 0.4, year over year 1.6. Okay, this is good, right? So you bet long because you're a bull, and bullish news came out, or bullish results came out. Okay, it's funny, right in the middle of the two, right? Price may have bottomed out, and you were a genius because you decided on Sunday what you wanted to do. Meanwhile, other people are working hard messing this up. Right? You see the difference in style? Ryan, I have a quick question on news services. In your opinion, how does Trade the News compare with Rand Squawk for London? I've never used Rand Squawk, or there's one other service, right? I've never used them ever. I've used TradeTheNews.com since 2000 and I think it was the 2005 FXCM Trading Expo in New York. I met Jessica and her team. They had a booth and they ran around handing out Trade the News swag. And I'm like, hey, so what do you do? And they're like, we watch the news 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we tell you what's happening before it's even on CNBC. And developed a relationship with them ever since. I've had a site license with them since 2005. Okay. So if you're absolutely dirt poor, don't use them. In fact, they don't. The last I spoken about. I don't know what their pricing policy is, but the last time I've spoken to them, you couldn't sign up if you wanted to. It was for institutional investors only. I don't know if that's changed. I don't run the company. They don't pay me any money. I still refer clients to them, but I don't get a commission. Look at this. I got a scratch on my back. But they're the best, and that's it. I don't need any more. Yeah, it's probably expensive. Yeah, I'm sure it is. It's only money. I need tax write-offs anyways. Who cares? But if you're poor, I'm sure there's other places to go. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, right? But they're the best, and it's like showing off your new Bentley. You're like, I got a new Bentley, and someone's like, really? You can get a. I like my Toyota Corolla just fine. Yeah, they're good, but this is better, right? I, I I like my new Bentley. What can I say? It's nice. I'm sure your Toyota Corolla is good. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just like, but mine is better. So I use TradeTheNews.com. They're the Bentley of live news. But I got Bloomberg and CNBC going up here. I don't use them for news because often, if I do scalp a news event, it's already happened. I'm already in the trade before they even report it. But I don't have sound on these. I don't listen to these idiots. But it's just interesting to me, like the headlines that people are thinking about and stuff. But I told you though, right? I've told you, um, it's not out of arrogance, but I have been accused of it. Um, I don't care what other people think when it comes to economic data. I don't care. And usually the headline news that people are talking about, I don't care. I don't care. I really don't care. I don't even want to hear people's opinion. They start to talk and I'm like, look, I got it. I don't care. Just go talk to me or go talk to someone else. Like I've done my work, right? I've done my work. I've done my analysis. I've read the data. I've actually read the report. I don't listen to the person on TV telling me what's in the report because most of the time they're wrong or they're less qualified than I am to interpret what the report says. So I just read the report and I have my own opinion and that's it. I don't care what anyone else's opinion is. So for them, I just kind of like to hear what they're talking about, but or not hear, see the sort of the gossip in the air that all the you know all the dumb money, I guess. But the scary part is I have seen the market move based on what the news said, what was misreported in the Wall Street Journal, for example. I've seen where the Wall Street Journal was absolutely 100% totally wrong in their reporting because I read the report and the reporting in the Wall Street Journal was absolutely completely nonsense. Absolutely got it backwards. Like not just wrong, the exact opposite of what happened was reported. And I'm like, "What? That's nonsense, right?" But then I looked at the market and the market didn't trade the reality. It traded the Wall Street Journal's perception of reality, which I know for a fact was completely wrong. But the market traded the Wall Street Journal. So it told, and really I got upset with that because it tells me these idiots that manage billion-dollar hedge funds and other institutions, they don't do the homework. They don't read the reports. They don't attend the events. They don't watch the webcasts. They trade what's in the newspaper. Isn't that amazing? So what that tells me is that you guys could be smarter than the smart money. Now you got to be careful. There's enough dumb money to move the market. So you got to be careful at times, right? Not to try to outsmart the market, but you can at least know that if you do the homework, you are the smart money. And the guy that's got a $4 billion hedge fund is not necessarily smarter than you, and in many cases will not be smarter than you. And I like that. And I hope you do too. Okay. Speaking about being smart, look, oil went, at first it was sell near 55. Target's always down in here. And it did it again. Isn't it funny? Look at yesterday. Right in our sell zone yesterday. Right here. Right into our target. Lovely Tulumum. Isn't that great? And there's people in here debating OPEC, and there's other people debating the ban that Trump did. Like, if you're an oil worker doing a deal in Iran, now you can't get there. And oh, that's going to hurt all of this. And then there's people out there, oh, and the frackers, and what does the frackers mean? And the frackers, and then other people are like, oh, Trump and the Exo pipeline and this other pipeline, and blah, 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 blah. And here we are, just like, yeah, sell it at resistance, buy it at support, you're fine. Isn't it funny? It's just like so ridiculous, right? That's why I mute them, because you had to cut through so much BS. By the time I walked from my office room door to my chair, there was so much crap. I had to like dig a tunnel to get to my desk through all the crap. There's no sound. That's it. Love it. Do the work, guys. If you want to be the smartest person in the room, do it. It's not that complicated, actually. Aussie dollar? Yeah, I guess so. Okay. So you have to, first of all, start by telling me what I told you already. What do you already know about this that we've already covered yesterday? Yeah, Ryan, be the beast, right? Actually, that'd be a great shirt. On the front it says, I, it says, be the beast. And on the back it says, I am the Widowmaker. Hey, man, I do my job. If someone else jumps off the roof, not my problem. I just sell at resistance and buy at support. I am a Widowmaker. I am the Widowmaker. Yeah. Not my job, right? What is the most important thing, guys? What is the most important thing? I'm looking at this. What am I thinking? Let me give you a hint. The most important thing started now, like 13 minutes ago. No. U.S. Open is in an hour. No. News? What news? Weekly M3 started on Sunday. Off the Weekly Central. Okay, it might have been 44 minutes ago, maybe not 14. What is happening today? FOMC. What is likely to be announced tomorrow? Nothing with a sprinkling of what on top? Dovishness. Oh my God, we might have been too hawkish. Maybe we need more data before we can confirm 3 rate hikes. Maybe it's only 2 rate hikes. Maybe there's risk somewhere. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. But it doesn't come out guns a-blazing, right? 3, maybe 4 hikes this year. Look at the data. I got that. I'm giving it all she's got. Right? No. Shields up, red alert. Whoa. Romulan ship off the port bow. Right? I don't know, right? Just like maybe it's not hawkish, hawkish, hawkish. We need to raise. We have to raise. We're going to raise. 3 might not be enough. Right? What does that mean? What is a reasonable risk if that is true? That they changed the dot plots. Very, 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 very likely. At least not as strong dollar as we used to have. So, for example, the Fed in December said, we're going to raise 3 times this year. That gets priced in with the stronger dollar. Done. Next. Then they come out and they're like, well, maybe we need to adjust that. Maybe 3 is a little too aggressive. We're still thinking 3, but we need to look at the data. Maybe you don't need to be so long dollar. Maybe we've seen printed the bottom for Euro USD, or for example, or Aussie USD already, and that we need to try again in May. Because of the June meeting. We haven't had amazing data in the last couple of weeks, have we? So let's look at this. Uh-oh, did I lose you? Oh, no, okay, good. The thing froze. All right, see this move? Rate hike by the Fed. Okay? If they raise interest rates today, boom. If they say 3, maybe 4, but don't raise today, down. If they say definitely 3 this year, down. Is it plausible they don't say definitely 3, 3 or more, or they actually raise? Is it possible one of those 3 things don't happen today? Yeah. Okay. Which means Aussie dollar up. Okay. But right? This is the same yen play. So if this means up here, it means USD yen down. Okay. But again, we've already talked about this in different way, in a different explanation, but it's all the same. Okay. Look at the central pivot point. Neutral. Then finally a breakout. And finally a breakout. Right? Bullish. And then look at this. We're basically neutral again, right? If someone said maybe an R1 then down, yeah. Or spike up and then down, yeah. Or more. Okay. Now, the thing is, I'm not terribly bullish on Aussie. Okay. They've had weak data lately, haven't they? Anthony says doesn't see the FOMC on the calendar today. Maybe it's tomorrow. No, it's a 2-day meeting. The decision tomorrow. The decision is tomorrow. The meeting started today. Okay. So let me do something for you. Let's go through quick, right? There's the meeting room. Now we get to the page I want to get to, and it's stalled out. Weird. Are you guys still with me? Yeah. All right. For some reason, the whole presentation just stalled on the. Yes, I know tomorrow is the FOMC. So, how funny. Okay, get to the page. There it is. Next. Okay. All right. So let's start with this. The meeting is located at the Board of Governors office in Washington, D.C. Non-voting presidents fully deliberate in the conversations, but they do not vote. The staff of the Board of Governors and district banks also attend, but they do not speak. The Board of Governors Director of Research does a presentation. The Board of Governors Director of Monetary Affairs does a presentation. And the Secretary of the Federal Open Market Committee takes the minutes. So today on day one, which just started 52 minutes ago, starts the first thing on the agenda is they approve the meeting minutes from the previous meeting. Then a report is given by the manager of open market operations for the foreign currency and domestic operations. Guess what? The Forex guy is the first person to speak. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Isn't that great? So the first person to speak at the 2-day meeting is the person in charge of the foreign exchange desk at the Bank of New York. So then they vote to ratify these open market operations, right? Then the Board of Governors staff presentation, the one I told you about, the staff presentation for the National Economic Forecast is given. This is the Green Book. It is non-public information. So the Board of Governors gives the presentation of here's where we are and generally where we're going as a national economy. And then each president from every Fed, right, the New York Fed, the Chicago Fed, St. Louis Fed, San Francisco Fed, Atlanta Fed, right, so on and so forth, they all give their presentation about the microeconomic data, micro meaning their region, because if there's a recession in San Francisco, there's a depression in Detroit. You understand? So they each give their economic overview. Okay. And then, but throughout the first day, There is no discussion of monetary policy, no discussion of interest rates, no discussion of quantitative easing if we were doing that, no discussion at all. It's just literally here's what we do day to day. Ratify that, everything's good. Or is the trading desk at the New York Fed doing the job properly that they've been mandated to do based on the last FOMC meeting? Are they keeping interest rates at exactly where they're supposed to? Yes or no? Yes. Good. Ratify it. Continue doing it. Great. Then they just go into the presentation. What is the United States economy doing? And then what does each local Fed branch, their micro economy, what is each one of them doing? And that's that. So then when they get back to their hotel rooms, they can sit and ponder, what do I want to do if I'm a voting member of the FOMC? What do I want to see happen and why? Because the next day they go in and talk about what should be done. Right here, they're not talking about what should be done. They're just talking about what state are we in? What economic reality are we facing? Okay? Day two, which is tomorrow, that's when they do other things. The Director of Monetary Affairs does their presentation. Now, this is good. This is the blue book. It's also not public information. But the Director of Monetary Affairs comes out and says, look, if you raise interest rates, this is what's likely to happen based on all the PhDs and quants we have. If you jack up interest rates tomorrow, this is the likely outcome. If you don't, but you talk hawkish, this is likely the outcome. If you don't and you talk dovish, this is a likely outcome. If you cut interest rates tomorrow, this is also the likely outcome. That's it. This is what the PhDs think will happen if you do this, that, or the other thing. And then they get into the discussion of what should be done. Okay? So today it's just the why. Where am I? Where am I? Okay? Yeah, well, you get the beige book and you already read the beige book, right? See? You already, right? This you're given. That is public information. And I'm assuming because you're a professional, you already read the beige book. So it's not a problem. But I tell you what, if you read the beige book, you're already the smartest person in the room. It wouldn't shock me whatsoever if some of the staff showed up without reading the beige book. They're skipping through it, skip, 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 yada, yada, yada. All right, I got it. Beige book, good. Okay. Here's trading for a blind man. Okay. So we're way over time, so I apologize for taking up too much of the agenda today. I know you're a very busy person, and you've chosen to be here. You could be in a lot of different places right now, I'm sure. So thank you for your loyalty. Thank you for your respect. You've certainly earned my respect. That's why I'm here every day without fail for you. Yeah. Did you send those cigars? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Sure you did. Well, anyways, thank you for your vote for Speaker of the Year. So peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. It's a big day. Can you see my monitors? Can you see the bull eating the bear eating the carcass of a bull? Yeah. I don't have an official one I can send. Let me wait for an open presentation. I don't think I have. Oh, Case Shiller up year over year. Don't have it yet. Yeah, everything's up. Everything's good. Case Shiller 5.27. Prices are still going up. That's good. The rich people just got rich. Or should I say wealthy people? Wealthy people just got wealthier. I love to hear that. Mexican GDP 2.2 as expected. Good job, Mexico. Ay, 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 ay. Oh, we didn't even do the peso, did we? Shoot. Oh well. Can't do everything. Yeah, so Nick says you can Google it on images. I am trying to buy the rights for that photo because I want like a mural of it. Like if you came into my office like a Gordon Gekko situation, you're sitting in the lobby of my office. I want this like a 6 or 7 foot tall by 27 foot wide image, uh, and I have to get rights for that. Yeah, there you go. So, peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. See you tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day.